Hello and welcome to Chabot News for November 13, 2025. My name is Lala D, and today we will be covering FAA reductions, free meals, and more travel cuts. In sports news, Ivan has the latest updates on the Golden State Warriors. And finally, in entertainment news, Bruce Malloy will tell you about the Grammy Awards. All that and more coming up in today's edition of Chabot News. In our top story this week, Cornell University has reached a deal with the Trump administration to unfreeze more than $250 million in federal funding. In our top story this week, Cornell University has reached a deal with the Trump administration to unfreeze more than $250 million in federal funding. Cornell will pay the federal government $30 million over 3 years and invest in another $30 million in agriculture-related research programs. The government will immediately restore frozen funding and close pending civil rights and other investigations into the school. Cornell will also give the government certain undergraduate admissions data for a comprehensive government audit. The school has also agreed to do annual surveys on campus climate, including that for students with shared Jewish ancestry. This morning, travelers are facing widespread flight cancellations as the government shutdown and staffing shortages disrupt air travel across the country. Airlines have been canceling flights after the Trump administration said it would cut air traffic at 40 airports until a deal is reached to end the shutdown. Ivan Rodriguez is live at one of those affected locations, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
Traffic is busy this morning, and then when I arrived here, it's like a normal situation here. I don't feel anything bad yet.
Frustrated and anxious travelers hoping for the best as new restrictions kick in. The FAA gradually cutting air traffic at 40 airports nationwide until the government shutdown ends.
They need to figure their stuff out.
An initial 4% reduction in domestic flights is in effect, and more than 800 flights have been canceled alone today, 4 times the total number of U.S. cancellations a day earlier, according to FlightAware. Many airlines are allowing passengers to change their tickets without fees, but some travelers don't have faith those flights will run either and are making alternate plans.
We stayed at a hotel last night that was, $150 out of pocket. Now we're going to be another, couple $100 out of pocket, taking a rental car, driving it down.
But it's better than waiting.
It's a 9-hour drive down to Wilmington.
Meanwhile, the Air Traffic Controllers Union says the industry is facing possible mass resignations as workers remain unpaid during the shutdown, putting extra strain on an already stressed system. And Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the reduction in flights comes down to safety.
It is not a science, it is an art that we're trying to deploy to keep people safe in the airspace. And we're trying to prevent the pressure that we now see building in the system.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Thanks, Ivan. Cuts across the board until a deal for the shutdown is probably costing the economy more than the subsidies asked for by the Democrats. It might be in everyone's best interest, including the Republicans, to fund the subsidies and open the government. A restaurant in Rochester, New York, is now offering free meals for anyone impacted by the government shutdown. The meals come with no questions asked, all on the honor system. Natalie Calzatoni spoke to those getting the help.
Without having their stamps, there's a lot of people that's out here struggling.
Tawana Anthony is one of many people who showed up to the Hideaway on Park Avenue Thursday afternoon. The restaurant is now offering complimentary lunches every Thursday to anyone impacted by the federal government shutdown or by the lapse in food benefits.
We felt that it was just a natural thing for us to offer help where we were fortunate enough to be able to offer it. Come in, you can order it to go or sit down in our dining room, present the card at the check, and then you are all set and you're good to go. We're not checking IDs or anything like that. It's completely the honor system.
SNAP recipient Ashley Tarr tells me it's been a day-to-day battle.
I was born with a mild form of cerebral palsy, so I've been disabled since birth. So I rely on food stamps and Social Security to survive. I've been struggling. It's been really hard. I've literally been eating spaghetti for 4 days because it's all I have in my apartment. So it's nice that businesses like this are willing to help out.
Lonzo Green also stopped in for lunch and wants people to know there is help out there.
I know it's rough and I know it's hard, But y'all have to understand, Rochester have a lot of resources.
Gordon tells me the Hideaway will provide these lunches every Thursday from noon to 3 for as long as needed, and the coupon works for any entree or appetizer, as well as a non-alcoholic beverage.
We know we're not here to solve any of the issues or crises. What we're really looking for is just to give people a respite from the chaos of their normal lives.
Thank you, Natalie. Whether food stamps will be fully funded this month remains in limbo. A federal judge this week ordered the USDA to fund the program fully. The Trump administration on Friday appealed that order. Earlier this week, the White House did say it would partially fund SNAP for November. The government shutdown stretched into a 40th day over the November 9th weekend. It's the longest on record. Many airports are dealing with staffing shortages because federal workers aren't getting paid. Jen Sullivan reports on why the shutdown is massively disrupting flights.
Passengers at airports across the country are dealing with mass flight delays and cancellations.
Our first flight, it got delayed an hour and then another hour, and now it's delayed 3 hours, so we are missing our connecting flight.
At Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey, hundreds of flights were affected Saturday.
I had a flight going from here to Charlotte, and then they canceled my flight.
With the government shut down, millions of federal workers are not getting paid. TSA agents and air traffic controllers are still expected to come to work, but many are calling out because they can't afford the gas to come in or childcare costs.
They feel desperate, hopeless, mad. And there's just appears to be no end in sight.
The sick calls are causing staffing shortages at airports and aviation support facilities across the country. And without enough staff, they cannot operate safely.
I have more complaints coming into the FAA from pilots who are saying that air traffic controllers are not as responsive.
The FAA says it will gradually reduce air traffic by up to 10% by November 14th. At 40 major airports. The decision could cut thousands of flights a day. The weather is also playing a factor. Parts of the Midwest and northern New England are seeing snow or heavy rain. There is also dense fog in Los Angeles Sunday. All of this coming right before Thanksgiving.
It's only going to get worse. You're going to see air travel be reduced to a trickle.
As of 3:30 Sunday afternoon, more than 7,000 flights were delayed nationally and nearly 2,100 were canceled, according to FlightAware. In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
It's causing mass chaos at airports coast to coast, and it's all happening just as airports should be preparing for the busy Thanksgiving holiday travel season. We sent our own reporter Bruce Malloy out to see if students at Chabot College are worried about travel disruptions during the holiday season.
Are you worried that the FAA disruptions are going to disrupt your or your family's travel plans this holiday season?
Not really, because my family doesn't really travel for the holidays. We usually just stay close in it, and all of my extended family is also in the area, so I'm not really worried about all that.
Actually, I was my plan like travel also like in to Chicago, like visit my family. So I know the shutdown, the shutdown is affecting like the airlines too. The whole it's not in USA. It's everyone want to come to USA.
Oh, traveling by air. Yeah, I'm traveling in December, so I wouldn't say worried, but yeah. I'm not really that worried, no.
Yes, I was wondering if you're worried that the FAA disruptions are going to interrupt yours or your family's travel plans, or if you have the worries that it's going to interrupt your travel plans this holiday season.
Not me per se. I will be local. I will be locally around, so I'm not really traveling. So it will not be affecting me as well. But some people I do know it will be affecting, so sorry for those guys.
I'm not too worried, honestly, but I got a couple of friends that's been hitting me up kind of worried. I also got a trip in December to see my family back at home because I'm not from out here. But like he said, man, trust in the Lord, man. Everything gonna be all right.
Thanks, Bruce. It seems that everyone is taking the possibility in stride. This is one of those rare days when Floridians might break out their winter coats. That is, if they own them. An Arctic blast could bring inches of snow and potentially record-breaking cold to parts of the eastern U.S. today. Meteorologists say areas as south as Florida could reach historic lows before the polar plunge is done. Forecasters predict snow near Lake Erie today. Some Midwesterners are still digging out after double-digit accumulations in certain areas yesterday. The storm is hitting at the same time as air traffic controller shortages across the country. Chicago's O'Hare Airport reports average delays of more than 5 hours yesterday. Southland Mall has been a big part of the city of Hayward for a long time. The mall first opened its doors in 1964. The mall was sold to Namdar Realty Group, a New York-based company, for $70 million cash. Namdar Realty is known for buying struggling malls and letting them deteriorate. With malls dying left and right, they are becoming extinct in the East Bay. The Southland franchise also sold their mall in Taylor, Michigan to a private developer. You will be missed. Now it's time for this week's sports report with Ivan Davis.
Although the Raiders played a great game defensively, the results were the same as they lost to their division rivals, the Denver Broncos, which was a heartbreaker. Let's look at the highlights.
60, and as we approach kickoff, let's join PA announcer Connor McGahee. Play clock at 3. Gonna run it into the end zone. Ashton Jeanty for the touchdown. So Jeanty on his 6th carry. Now slips to the outside. Nix looks that way, then over the middle, then to the right, throws, caught into the end zone for the touchdown. Troy Franklin. Really blocked. Kick is blocked. And Denver's going to get the ball in great position. J.L. Skinner came in. He gets the block. Maney gets the recovery with a minute and a scrimmage to get after Bo Nix. 32-yard attempt to give Denver the lead. Knocks it through, does Will Lutz with 5 ticks remaining in the third. From 48 away, the kick is over the top of the upright, but outside of it, just outside the top of the upright. So they can't cash in tonight. Wasn't.
The Broncos, say whatever you want, they're 8-2.
Changes are sure to come for the Raiders, as many coaches and players are now on the hot seat. On top of that, their best offensive lineman was injured, and it looks serious. When it rains, it pours. The Warriors are looking to end a losing streak and avenge an earlier loss to the 1-8 Indiana Pacers. With Curry out for this game, this is a chance to see the young Warriors in action. Let's see the video.
The Pacers have struggled from the field 3 and the free throw line. Again, shot clock at 11, taking his time.
Post getting all he can eat. Talks about hockey like you guys are the toughest athletes. Whenever Pajemski gets hit in the schnoz or Pat Spencer takes a ball, we always compare him as
Look for his own shot.
Jimmy Butler down the lane again.
The first double-digit lead of the night.
Butler with 4 to shoot. Rudy at 2. Does he see the clock? He did. Got it up and was fouled and hit a 3. Come on! Mo's like they put 6 players in double figures, and the Pacers have finally lost at Chase Center. Amazing.
The Warriors will go on one of the longest road trips of the season, and the Warriors picked up a much-needed win at home. Then they were destroyed in Oklahoma City before going on to Texas and getting an impressive win over Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, 125-120. That's it for sports this week. Back to you, Lala D.
Thanks, Ivan. The United Kingdom has stopped sharing intelligence with the U.S. about suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean. Sources tell CNN the UK doesn't want to be complicit in U.S. military boat strikes that have killed 76 people and believes the attacks are illegal. For the UK, it's a substantial break from its closest ally and intelligence sharing partner. It underscores growing skepticism over the legality of the Trump administration's military campaign around Latin America. The UK controls multiple territories in the Caribbean where it keeps intelligence assets. For years, it has helped the U.S. find vessels suspected of transporting drugs. The U.S. Coast Guard would then stop and board the ships, detain the crew, and seize the drugs. This intelligence pause began more than a month ago. This indicates a strong rift between the U.S. and our closest intelligence partner. Now it's time for Bruce Malloy with entertainment news.
The official countdown is now on for the 2026 Grammy Awards. After the nominees for the show honoring music's best were revealed on Friday, rapper Kendrick Lamar leads the way with 9 Grammy nominations. Those include the album, record, and song of the year. Other top nominees include Lady Gaga, Bad Bunny, and Sabrina Carpenter. The Grammy winners will be announced during the live show in Los Angeles on February 1st. You may be wondering why the name of Taylor Swift is not on the list of nominees. Her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, was released in October, but that fell outside the window of eligibility, which closed on August 30th. We sent our reporter Enrique Pena to get students' opinions on nominees and some predictions.
Do you have any predictions for this year's Grammys?
For this year's Grammys, I think like Tyler, the Creator. I think he's already won like a Grammy in like the past couple of years, but I think he's been like coming out with some pretty good music lately. So I think him for sure. And for pop, who's been like big? Like I think like Charlie XCX. I think like her music's been like pretty popular lately. It's been like all over TikTok, so.
It's gonna be Tyler, the Creator, to be honest. He has like 2 nominees for album and song of the year, I believe.
Kendrick Lamar.
Any reason why?
I just think he really he made great music, and then his album that came out about like Drake and stuff, like everybody was memeing about it and stuff, and it became like such a big hit and stuff on TikTok.
Thanks, Enrique. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame welcomed its class of 2025. The Hall held its 40th annual induction ceremony at the Peacock Theater Saturday in Los Angeles. Inductees include Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, and Salt-N-Pepa. Also inducted Soundgarden, Chubby Checker, Bad Company, and the White Stripes. The late Joe Cocker was also inducted. Meg White of the White Stripes did not attend. Performers included Elton John, Missy Elliott, Brandi Carlile, and Beck. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame says the ceremony was a celebration of music's highest honor. Now back to you, Lala D.
Thanks, Bruce. Actor Robert De Niro was received by Pope Leo XIV in the Vatican on Friday. He spoke to CNN's Claire Sebastian.
Legendary Hollywood actor Robert De Niro got a bit emotional today when talking about his meeting with the Pope. The star of movies like Godfather 2 and Raging Bull is here in Rome for a couple of days, and he got a private audience with Pope Leo, the first American Pope, something he described as very special. Clearly, a big portion of that meeting happened off camera. And when I asked him what exactly the two of them spoke about, well, he made it clear this was very personal for him.
He's a good guy. I'll put it that way simply. I was very, very happy to meet him. And I had lucky to have 2 of my children with meeting him too, and we all together too. And then my grandson, who died of an overdose about a little over 2 years ago. His name was Leo, so my daughter gave him his card and so on, and it was just a nice moment, very special.
De Niro was at the Vatican not only with 2 of his children, as he said, but also with his business partners. He's one of the co-founders of the Nobu restaurant and hotel chain, and they're opening up for the first time this weekend here in Rome. And that meeting came also just a day after he was awarded the highest civilian honor by the city of Rome, the so-called Capitoline Wolf Award. So for the 82-year-old actor with Italian heritage, clearly a number of very significant moments. Claire Sebastian, CNN in Rome.
Thank you for that heartwarming report, Claire. From Hollywood to the Holy See, Robert De Niro's encounter with Pope Leo XIV becomes a poignant reflection on family, faith, and the ties that outlast fame. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV. Stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 on Comcast for more Chabot TV.